What's up, people? It's Tony again from Tony's Figs. Thank you for tuning in again for more of the second part of OG13, my OG13 that I got on my display. What I did with them, how I made them, and how I throw them in my display. So thanks for tuning in. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe at the end when we're done. Helps me out so much. Thank you so much for joining the channel, subscribing to the channel. It's been really good so far, and I'm having a lot of fun. So let's get into it. Some of these aren't too much customized. They didn't really need to be. So what I did is just did a little bit to bring them closer to the original figures back in the day with, a little bit of leaving the classified aesthetic there. So we'll get right into it and start with rock and roll. All I did was take off his tattoos. That's it. I got another one with them on. I left the mom one on there. Um, with rock and roll, he did a really good job. I left all his gear on. I think I painted maybe his pistol mags black. You could barely see him there. This wristband is a sniper would usually maybe have that on. For him, it's just like a decoration for a wristband. And then I painted his shirt a different kind of green. Excuse me. That's all. That's all I did for rock and roll besides throw um gridiron M60 on him. And that's about it. I just did his shirt, made it like it looked like an Under Armour shirt to me. So I said, well, let's just make it green instead of tan. And that's all I did for this rock and roll. They did a really good job on him on their own, and I'm digging it. I'm digging the Hang 10. I'm digging his ACH. The helmet that he has, and the earpieces, and the pouch back here were brown. That's how he came from classified. That's all you need. It's a different kind of green. Most of these guys are gonna have different shades of green. Um, to me, that just signifies, maybe wear and tear a little bit more. Sweating here, sweating there. They don't have. I mean, could I make them all the same olive drab green and just be the same across the board? Yeah, but some of the comic book aesthetic is in there. Some of the Sunbow animation cartoon is in there, which you'll see with Steeler next. So that's what I did to make them look the way I wanted them in my display. So real quick, there's rock and roll. And moving up to Steeler, what I did here is I think it was let's see, this one might have been a Dusty upper, his torso and arms. He has a collar and t-shirt. In the Sunbow animated cartoon back in the day, he had the yellow shirt underneath and this type of brighter green, shirt. Um, he had in his old school figure from back in the day. He had a gold 1911. So I got one from Gridiron, threw it in there. I gave him Hawk's shoulder holster. To me, that looked like a more of a tanker, shoulder holster to me anyway. And then actually it's all Gridiron's little loadout for Steeler, the tanker loadout, I think it's called. There's a helmet, and then there's Steeler's visor that he's known for. And binocs just goes real good with him. The head sculpt is a Henry Cavill head sculpt. And what I did, I just used what I had at the time. I was big into customizing, Marvel Legends and using fodder from there to come over to classifieds to, use what I needed for what I needed. And that's it. So yeah, like I said, it's probably a Dusty top with a collar and undershirt painted. The Gridiron loadout. The Gridiron loadout has a Uzi. It did have their own shoulder holster, and I gave that to Hawk. It looks better on him. What I'll do, I'll like upgrade the characters I like a lot more with the better stuff. I don't know if you guys do that, but for old Steeler here, works for him. And then I gave him Grunt's belt, and I just shifted it so his other weapon is behind him. You know, it really didn't matter. Now he's got 2 pistols on him, you know, and back here, you know, I mean, cops put it back there, undercover put it back there, different uh, guys carry it back there. It didn't really matter to me. It's at a cant to where he can reach back and pull it if he needs it. And on Steeler, I think his old school figure, he had black cargo pockets in there. So that's it. And then from his waist down, I'm sorry, it's either Stalker or Grunt. Not Grunt, but let me see. Let me see if I can find Grunt out here. It's either Grunt or Stalker. I'm not sure. And I just painted those black. So that's all. And that's all I did for Steeler. This is pretty basic. You know, like I said, different shades of green. You know, I could have painted all one color, but I just had to do it that way to make it pop a little more. And then with moving on to Short Fuse, what I did for Short Fuse, what I had at the time, I made them a long time ago, it's just a breaker body. It's just a breaker body from neck all the way to the boots. So it's really uniform. You know, breaker was kind of dull, drab, boring. But that's what he wore. And then on I think the action figure back in the day, he had a black harness. And I think it's from a Winter Soldier or one of those other military figs from Marvel Legends. It fit him really well. I cut up a flint belt and matched it, so it goes really well with the green and black, you know. Black gear, black belt, black knee pads, you know. I went through, at the time, I had different boots. His own boots sucked because you have to cut the shin guards off of them and then turn them around. That looks all right, but that sure as hell don't. I didn't want to shave them down and mold them and, you know, sculpt something over the top of them or whatever. So I got rid of these. Found these recently. These are the better boots for these guys. Either, like I say, stalkers or snake eyes or grunts. These boots are awesome, but they would have made him even shorter, which isn't bad for his namesake. But then going to my fodder box, I found Citizen V's boots from Marvel Legends, and he wore you know, the high top boots with his pants tucked in. These are kind of high. It makes him a little taller than what I had him. I had him on his own on these boots, and they kind of sucked. So as you can tell, they were shorter. So this makes him a little bit taller. And then for his head's just a Duke's under there. But with the gridiron helmet and visor, I mean, you can't tell. And to me, in the cartoon, he always had his visor down. So it really don't matter. And I just slapped this on a gridiron helmet. And then with the Short Fuse loadout, it comes with the backpack peg on the Alice pack. They did this a while back too. So his canteen comes off and mounts there. And he's got the 800 megahertz radio. He's got his rockets. He got his mortars here. They all come out of the pouch. And then his mortar, let's see, so I don't mess this up. Okay, it detaches from the Alice pack. Gridiron made this one too. And let's see, it's got the movable platform, and then the bipod comes out, and you can move it, you know, how you want. Mount it on the floor, you know, different ranges. Really nice. And then I'll put one of the mortars in. You guys might already have this. This goes in there. Bloop. Comes right out. Back in there. And then the handle for the mortar goes in this crevice right here. And it just snaps back in. So he can carry it on his back. That's what I did for short fuse. He's a mortar soldier. So that's all you had to do for a short fuse. Could I make them better? Could I have a different head scope? Yeah, but what I usually do is I look and see if I can make what I want with what I already have. So that's short fuse. And so moving on to breaker, I changed him up a little bit. Breaker still retains, let's see, let me go top to bottom. Well, I replaced his head. Because breaker's head to me will look like clutch. And now we're getting a clutch with the vamp. So you can tell how long ago I did this. I've made a clutch for a long time ago. So he'll be in the next one. So sticking with breaker. Breaker's got a Chris Pratt, what was his name in the Guardian? Star-Lord. He's got a Chris Pratt Star-Lord head underneath that gridiron helmet. Nice beard. I think I filled some of his beard in. Because Breaker had a full beard. I gave him Stalker's web gear. I think on the old school figure, Breaker had it black too. But I'm not sure. And then I got he's got either Grunt or Stalker's top, torso, and shoulders. And then I used what was it? I think I used Falcon's arms. And it looks like there's a different shade of green to me because he rolls them up. Underneath is like a different colored fabric. So, I mean, I could have painted him and matched the color, but I decided just to leave it like there. And you tell him he rolled up his sleeves. So, that's the top and the arms, and then the bottom is Breaker's own waist all the way to his boots. I think I might have painted his boots black, but that's all Breaker. And then I found a holster in my fodder box. I'll probably make a video on all the fodder I've got too. With its own strap. I think it's from a Shield agent. I can't remember. But I had another. This 1911 is not Gridirons. It's from Marvel Legends. With a bunch of their characters they have came out with this too. Fits really good in there. So another one with the Stalker, Snake Eyes, Grunt, Hawk, Breaker. They all use this harness back in the day. The smoke grenade on the side, blade on the side, and there's the straps. And then I gave him, since he didn't come with the weapon back in the day, I just gave him the AR Colt Commando. I think it's just a U.S. assault rifle from Gridiron, chambered in 5.56, and I really love the Colt Commando rifle. They use this rifle in Heat. You see Robert De Niro and Val Kilmer using this, and I thought I love this platform. Shorter barrel, the stock is all the way pushed in, and I think that's a 30 round magazine. The shorter one is 20. So that's Breaker, and then I have Breaker's loadout from Gridiron, Alice pack, radio, separate walkie, knife, in and out. The radio comes in and out too. This you can put over his shoulder. You could put it, I tucked it back in. And then that is it for Alvin Kibbe. So, sorry I went kind of fast, but I mean, these guys are really basic, and they're basically kit bashes with a bunch of, gear and stuff I had left over from Marvel Legends and other classifieds. Even with Short Fuse, I gave him an AR Colt Commando too. These carbines are awesome. They're some of my favorites to give the other green shirts. You know what I mean? And here we go with the, what was it called? The rubber band technology. But yeah, because I mean, you don't. He didn't have a weapon in the back in the day. He didn't have a weapon back in the day. It's just his specialty. You have to have him with some kind of self defense. You know, you gotta have him with some kind of assault rifle. So put that around him. Stick a rifle in poor short Fuze's hand. Put his visor down. And he's humping around with everybody, marching out to where he's got to be so he can set up the mortar. And that'll do it, man. Short, little, nice, and short and sweet video for the next 4. Thank you guys so much for watching. Thank you guys for letting me know you're looking forward to the rest of these. These were the next 4 in line. Mostly all green shirts. I love all the old school Joes. I think next up we'll do my version of Clutch. Now he'll get replaced. Usually I replace the customs when Hasbro comes out with theirs, and then what I'll do is I'll mix and match. I'll put, it depends on whether I like my custom more than their genuine article, which usually I do like them, and I tend to like repurpose my other customs if they make something better. But with Shipwreck, I use mine and got some of Shipwreck stuff, put it on them because I repurposed my Shipwreck for my own chuckles. Maybe you guys will see that later in another video. So that does it for part 2 of the OG13 for Tony's Figs. Thank you guys for checking in with me. What was I saying? Oh, I'll go back to the next 4. Next 4 will be Clutch. I'll show you how I did Flash and Grand Slam. They're a little similar, a little different. And my Scarlet. So that'll be the next 4. And like I said, I'll have Commando, Snake Eyes, and Shooter hanging around. I didn't do that much to them. They're perfect the way they are. I think I just gave, honestly, Shooter a different sniper rifle. And that's all. Thank you guys so much. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. I will catch you on the next one pretty soon, maybe next week. Let me know in the comments what you guys think. Thanks so much.